Hello again world, Justin Tucker here, moving forward with the Drupal 7 convention and membership tutorial. Hopefully in this video I will kind of make quick work of turning the managed display areas of each of these content types into something usable that will then go on our or be used to control how these views display the content, and then we're going to move those displays around as we think we need to. So I'm not promising a pretty page. That's not really what this tutorial series is about. Theming is a whole different world, but usability and user experience to me is something that extends through everything. So we will try to make this a much more usable page, but it will probably kind of retain some basic look to it like this, at least for now. So before we actually get into that, I was wanting to show the idea of image presets. So if we go to the configuration area, down the left hand side, kind of in the middle I think, yeah, there's something called image presets. And this is where you can define different image rules and then apply those rules to different field instances. So I'm going to add a style here, and I'm going to call this, I don't know, 300 by 300. And we get these effects, okay? Crop, scale, scale and crop, desaturate, resize, rotate, stuff like that. And you can also add these in succession. So you can say, hey, crop first, then resize it, then rotate it. I really have never gotten into scenarios that need that. What is primarily used in my scenarios is scale and crop. And what this does is forces a thumbnail, effectively, this directive. And so naturally I'm going to put 300 by 300 so it the effects kind of match its label. I always click update style again because I'm scared it didn't, but I think it does. And so now that we have this image style of 300 by 300, if we go back to image styles, we'll see it in the list. And in our last tutorial, we were dealing with this display here. And the view is told to show the teaser version of the content. So if I go into the hotel and lodging, manage display, teaser, here's my image field, and I'd previously set it to 480 by 480. Now in that example, 480 by 480, let's look at this. See, it just says scale by 480, 480 by 480. So what it's going to do is it's going to obey the first side or the first dimension that hits 480, and then calculate the second. So clearly 480 on the width of that image was hit before the height. And we can see that by how it resized the image. It's tall and rectangular. And so what the scale only does is it preserves aspect ratio. So this is the same that we see everything in this picture still. It's just a smaller version of it. But I want it to be a box, just for whatever reason, for our example. And so that is why I just created a rule called scale and crop 300 by 300. So we'll assign this image, again, I'm in the manage display tab on the hotel and lodging content type and the teaser display type. I'm going to choose 300 by 300 and update this and hit save. And again, I don't have to go back to the view that created this. When I refresh this, this should automatically obey and be 300 by 300, and it is. So the view work should be done, the query bringing in the data should be done, and kind of how this setup works is the control of these fields and how they lay out will be done through the Manage Display tab on each individual content type, which I actually like a lot better. You can get into a really deep rabbit hole trying to control the layout inside of views. So I wanted to show you that with the image styles. You can make as many of these as you want, and you can assign them to field instances, both in the content type manage display tabs in here, and also in the view itself. So in the view, if you brought in an image field, you can choose this as a formatter on how it displays. So for kind of a lack of a plan, which I apologize, what I intend to do is really to give each one of these managed displays, I guess we'll just work with the teaser display, and I'm going to want to give it a, I think it's called Boxton. Whoops. There it is. Boxton is just a single column page, but it wants to be responsive and it's clean. It reverted me back to default here. Let me go to the teaser. Look for no. There we go. And what I'll do for each of these is try to bring in just a very minimal piece of information. So for the event, for example, I know we'll want the title of the event. We'll maybe want a read more link. Maybe we'll want to bring in the event type. We'll leave the address off, and the reference speaker sponsors and vendors. We'll be using the teaser display on the fictitious convention we've got going right now, so there's no need to show the referenced registration event. That's redundant. Date is going to be needed, and you can either drag and drop like you saw me do, or just use the drop downs to choose the regions that are produced when you choose the layout down here. So let's see, that kind of gives us our who, what, when, and the where is kind of implied, or maybe something we'll ask the user to, you'll have to click on. If you're using this as a schedule for events within the conference or larger event, then the location a lot of times is implied. It's the same place. So we'll just leave that off for now and save that. And I'll probably, save you the spoon-fed boredom of watching me activate the Boxton layout for every single managed display and getting that going. So I'll probably stop that video here and kind of pre-bake that work up. Again, it's going to be pretty much what you just saw with the hotel and lodging. Choosing a layout on the teaser display and then moving fields around, and then if there's any image fields, using any image presets that I would have made to control how those look. So if you guys are enjoying these videos, please subscribe. If you have any thoughts, questions, or feedback, please reach out. Otherwise, I'll end that here and see you on the next one. Thanks.